Investigative reports with Jenny Kerwin. When disaster strikes,
Landslides are a serious geographical hazard that occur in almost all the states in the U.S. Each year it is estimated $1 billion in damages, and 2.5 to 50 deaths each year are caused by landslides in the U.S. Globally, each year, hundreds of billions of dollars in damages and hundreds of thousands of deaths and injuries occur because of landslides. In this special investigative report, we will be visiting the Aldercrest site here in Kelso, Washington, which is a devastated landslide area, which has not only captured the attention of the local residents, but has also won the sympathy of the nation. With the recent Aldercrest slide, are you concerned about your home and the possibility of a landslide in your area?
We are concerned. We don't have any damage at this time, but the geotechnical engineer that's been studying the slide said our home probably won't show any signs of sliding for another 5 to 25 years, but we are concerned.
How has the Aldercrest disaster affected you and your family?
It's been traumatic for us because of our location here. Ever since the onset of it back in last April, we've been sitting here watching the entire effects of it. So every time we look out our window, every time we go out to get our paper or mail or just drive away or in, we always have to see it. Plus, it's been like a circus out in front of the house because people are in and out. It's just like when St. Helens blew. Everybody wants to see what's happening up there, and so we have all the people out there constantly wanting to know what's going on. And so, and as far as us here, we're in a panic because we have to get out.
What advice would you give someone else considering buying a house on any hill in Cowlitz County?
Not just Cowlitz County, I would say anywhere in the Pacific Northwest with the overabundance of rain that's been going on over the past few years. All the landslides have been occurring since this started taking place last April. It's all coming out to the news. Now, it's difficult with all the rain that we're having here. I mean, you're either subject to going into an area where you're going to be flooded, or you go up onto a hill where you're assuming it's going to be safe, and it's all going to come crumbling on down. No, I wouldn't say build in a valley to where you're going to get flooded, or go up onto a hill. It's difficult. Right now, I wouldn't know where to tell a person to go to, but your selections are very limited.
As a homeowner, did you assume that it was safe before you bought the house, or did you question the developer?
We had no problems with moving up here and assuming that it was going to be safe because all the area up here had already pretty much been developed. We just chose a piece of vacant land figuring, hey, it's going to be okay. And once the city of Kelso gave us the building permit to go ahead and start building, that was basically an issue or an issuance of a statement from them saying it's safe. So with all the homes that had been up here previously and them providing the building permit for us, yes, we assumed it was safe.
What advice would you give someone looking into buying a house on a hill in Cowlitz County?
I would certainly want to find out if it was the site of an ancient landslide. Those seem to be the areas affected most. Doesn't mean every hillside will fall, but ancient landslides are quite vulnerable, and with the obvious rains that we've had, there's no way to control that.
This land was once a smooth slope, and as you can see, now the land is slowly moving down. This is an example of the shingle effect, which is where you take part of the land out and the land above it moves down to fill the gap. As you can see, these trees in this house will eventually slide down, like the other houses past these trees, the Aldercrest area.
The Aldercrest landslide has put many families in crisis. Started in late February 1998 and was declared disaster by the city in April, and then presidential disaster was declared on October 16, 1998. To this day, over hundreds of homes have been affected on the Aldercrest subdivision. Some homes have made their way down the creek just overnight. Others were left abandoned due to the dangerous exposed to continuous slipping at the rate of 3 to 4 inch. In some cases, the earth's movement at Kelso Aldercrest neighborhood reaches 1 foot in an hour. Heavy rains were blamed for the slide. A high amount of precipitation in February was the cause on this slide, according to experts. Each of the houses was shored up with extra soil. but the rains washed away the earth, making it vulnerable to a landslide. Houses are slowly going down the hill. At some homes in the neighborhood, 12-foot crevices run the length of the driveway. The city has requested that residents find alternate housing, and homeowners are taking the warning seriously and moving out.
Aldercrest subdivision, which was built in the 70s, was a beautiful and luxurious place to live. It was somewhat similar to one of these houses. Last year, with all the rain that we had, mud slides started falling and pushing the houses down in the Aldercrest area. Now it's become a dangerous place to be.
This is Kay Adams, the city's engineer. What kind of surveys were done before building in the Aldercrest area?
Well, there weren't any actual geological surveys done in this area before the subdivision built. There were some geological surveys done out on the I-5 corridor, which is just west of here. Those were really the only geological studies that were done prior to the subdivision being built.
What changes has the city made with regulations?
Well, as you can imagine, there's a lot of excitement about hillsides and development in the hillsides now. One of the things that we decided to start doing is every time there's a subdivision that's going to be built on a hillside, we're going to ask for a very in-depth geological study to be done, meaning we will have borings up to 140 feet or until they hit bedrock, and then we'll put inclinometers, which are measuring devices in the ground, and also piezometers, which measure the water levels. And by getting all this information, we'll be able to tell if the land is stable or if it's unstable or if it could be stabilized by some other mitigations.
What was the major cause of this landslide?
Our geologists and geotechnical people tell us that the enormous amount of rainfall we've had over the last 3 to 4 years now is the catalyst, is the main cause of the earth movement. Once you get 65–75% more rain than you're used to having, it builds up pressure and water pressure in the soils and causes it to move. And then once it starts moving, it's almost impossible to stop it.
When was Aldercrest declared a national disaster?
Okay, it wasn't considered a national disaster until October 16, 1998. Although we did start seeing damage in last week of February, first week of March, we declared it very soon after that. As a city, we declared it a disaster. Went on to the county, who declared it a disaster, and then sent it on to the state. The state sent it on to the national, to Washington, D.C., and had it officially declared. It was actually turned down once. We had to send an appeals process through, and on the second try, it was declared a disaster on October 16th.
How can you tell if a landslide might occur in your area? There are several things to look for, especially after a heavy rain.
New cracks or unusual bulges in the ground, street, or sidewalk. Decks and patios moving or tilting away from the house. Tilting or crackling of concrete floors and foundations. Broken water lines or other underground utilities. Leaning telephone or power lines, trees, walls, or fences. Sudden springs or saturated ground in areas that have not been wet before. Suddenly lower levels of water in creeks when rain is still falling or has just stopped. Sunken roads. Suddenly higher levels of water in creeks.
Disaster can strike quickly and without warning. It can confine you to your home or make you evacuate your neighborhood. And when it does strike, it leaves many problems behind: financial, physical, emotional, and sometimes even death. However, you can better cope with a disaster by preparing in advance.
To learn how to prepare for a disaster, visit our website at www.disasterrelief.org.
Well, that's it for this special edition of Investigative Report. I'm Janie Kerwin. Thank you for watching, and join us for our next edition of Investigative Report, which will be on Monday.